something on my arm. Can't eat it.
Eat it. Ow.
You can't eat it if it's broken. I'm trying to do this on my own. You have to do it. I'm messing up.
It's okay.
I did that just to do the whole face and then I'll put them on.
Awesome.
Now put it around.
Careful, you're gonna tip the snowman over. Oh, he's going over. Macy, you're double dipping.
Mommy, what do I got? For the snowman.
Oh, yeah.
I got purple, black, and yellow.
Very good. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. We are back to making regular videos here in Alaska of our reptile room, our life, and everything in between. We're going to be seeing a lot of changes on the channel, but as I keep saying in all of our other videos, don't be afraid. The reptiles aren't going anywhere. We are just entering into breeding season, and we are still in the process of moving all of our stuff into our house. So there's a lot of changes still going on. It's gonna be awesome. It's just very, very chaotic right now. So for today's video, I kind of wanted to go over what is going on with our reptiles, go over a future reptile room, check out some of our lizards, what is gonna be going on with their caging here pretty soon. Also, before we moved, we had hatched out a surprise clutch. We had our female superfire, who we thought was just a superfire, that we had paired with our male Rocky, who is an Orange Dream Mojave 100% het clown. Now, we thought that's all that was in the mix, but when I did the egg cutting, we found a few surprises. Now, as some people suspected in the comments, we did see some Enchi and possibly one or two other genes. Now, I have messaged the person that we originally got her from, which was Matt Byram over at Matt Byram Exotics. Now, he has messaged me back. I messaged him again, so I am waiting on a response. I think he's double checking his records to see what the pairing of this female was, to kind of give us a better idea of what else was in this whole pairing. So that is going to be really awesome to find out, but I have a pretty good idea of what's going on in here. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at that clutch and kind of go over what I think as far as IDing the genetics in these babies. But first, let's go over kind of the future of our reptile room. So right now, my bedroom, well, my bed is on the floor still, but my bedroom is my reptile room with caging, well, clothes, hatchling rack, my computer office set up for the time being. We have some storage. Our Freedom Breeder rack is also in our room with a bunch of supplies, and it is just a complete mess. We have a snake in a bucket up there who's going to be getting a new cage. Poor Littlefoot is in this small cage. And yeah, it's just a complete disaster. So to start, Littlefoot is in a 2x4 by 4 foot enclosure right now. Again, this is temporary. He and his lady friend, which is located over here, is going to be getting an awesome large enclosure. We are going to be doing something epic with a partition to get them used to each other because we are hoping to breed them this season. Mr. Arlo in here, our Asian water monitor, when we built the cages, that is supposed to be his enclosure. So once we get everything rolling, Arlo will go in this enclosure, and we are going to make this all naturalistic. I've already started collecting branches and other materials, Now, moving to Alaska, things are very limited. So you have to get very creative with your DIY projects. So when we had moved here, this was not the idea. So before we had even moved to Alaska, if you've seen some of the other videos, we had made these cages. Now these cages obviously are a 2x4x4 with the exception of the, a 2x2x4 foot, with the exception of the 2x4x4 foot that is meant to be for Arlo. We had made these skeleton cages before we ever left Reno, Nevada, to move to Alaska. However, I had everything picked out. I had everything ordered. And before we moved, I just started getting email after email after email how everything was in stock, not in stock, sorry. How everything was back ordered, and we were not able to get all of the fixtures. And so we started, sweating a bit and kind of trying to figure out where we were going to get materials to even get these guys in their cages. Because as I explained in the other video, getting these guys up here was a bit of a crapshoot to begin with, and then trying to get them here and then not having caging set up for them as planned because there were just so many roadblocks was just absolutely ridiculous. So thankfully, I was able to get a lot of these Fluker's heat emitters off of Amazon. I ordered a huge box. I probably ordered way more than I needed, but you cannot get a whole lot of Reptile supplies or heat emitters or things in Alaska. A lot of times you can get stuff maybe towards the spring because people will use heat emitters and other basking bulbs, halogen bulbs and things like that because they raise chickens and they keep them warm in coops and things like that. But during the wintertime, it becomes very, very hard to be able to find these kinds of things. So I was glad I brought all of the bulbs that I had collected from down south. I brought them up here. I had the heat emitters, and then down south, it was even hard to find the UV. This is a Power Sun. So I was able to find for those, it was the Power Sun, and what was the other brand? The Sun Glow. So I was able to find 2 Sun Glows and 2 Power Suns before we left out of the 4 or 5 different pet stores that were in my area. It was absolutely ridiculous. I have not been able to find anything up here. Down in Anchorage, there's a little bit more of an availability, but not much. These little wire enclosures, if you follow our Instagram, I made all these from the hard wire cloth, I think it's called. Don't quote me on that. But it comes in a roll. I had to cut and bend and make every single one of these. And right now there is 2, 4, 6, 8. I had to make 8 of them just to get our guys in these enclosures. These are just traditional vent covers, for a house or an RV that I picked up from our local Lowe's. And then thankfully, before we moved, I was able to find 1 Herbstat 2. We already had 2 others and our Freedom Breeder thermostat, and I also had a Herbstat 4. I am looking at purchasing another Herbstat, either a 4 or 2, to have a backup. It is always good to have backups. I am going to be getting the fuses because most of the time the Herbstats don't really go out. It's the fuses inside that go out. So it's always good to have extras. Now, living in Alaska, when you have snowstorms and when you want to ship things, it could take 2 to 4 weeks to get things. We already knew that we were going to have a lot of extra supplies on hand for that what if. So we are working on that. However, back to these cages. So we weren't able to find all the supplies. I had ordered tons of heat emitters, not the heat emitters, the heat panels for these cages, to find out that all of them were on back order. I called several different places. I called a couple distributors in Canada and could not get anything. Everything was on back order. People weren't getting them in, and that is due to all the backup at the ports. I had already purchased the Arcadia fixtures to hold these with the covers. Everything was set to go. Again, only to find out everything was out of stock and I had to be reimbursed all of my money. So everything was just crazy. So now we scrambled. We were able to get this stuff when we got here. I had to put all this stuff together by myself. We got here, things got really crazy, and then my husband had to go back to work. And then, I went to my local Lowe's thinking that, we were going to be able to get all of the plexiglass to at least do this, what you see, this bare bone minimum, just to get the animals in the enclosures. It was hard to find this. Most of the plexiglass, it's not actually plexiglass. It's an acrylic glass. Plexiglass is a brand. But we were barely able to find what we got. So that is why you see these cages are unfinished, and that is because I have not been able to find the acrylic sheet to even finish these. I'm probably going to have to contact Lowe's or Home Depot and drive down to Anchorage to see if they have some in stock. Because from what I got from this, there was quite a few sheets left. However, I need the full sheet, and like the corners were broken off of these, so they were unusable. So yeah, it's been absolutely crazy, and I've already been looking at different resources and contacting different people. So I am going to be able to get materials to finish these. It's just going to be a lot of DIY, which I was trying to minimize the DIY by ordering different things, but that's not going to be the case. So stay tuned for a lot of DIY videos. If you live in areas where it is hard to get materials, you're going to want to watch these because they're going to get really creative. These cages, I originally wanted to do like a slider. I cannot find the rails to go on the top and bottom. I've contacted different companies. I've tried to go through, windows. I looked for windows to put in here. What's up, dude? And you just can't find them. So that is why we ended up having to go with generic hinges with some bolts. I wanted some different locks, couldn't find them. So then we ended up having to go with these. And see, let's turn the camera around. So we have these stupid little locks, but they are working for now. See, her plexiglass or her acrylic sheet is a little bit thicker. His is super thin. I still got to fix this because now that it warmed up, it bowed out. Absolutely ridiculous. So they have the bare bone minimum here with a water dish. His log finally came, and they have a tile back there that I keep having to move. The substrate, I couldn't even find enough hinges and locks to even do another side. So this side is just completely screwed in and completely fixed. So only the one side opens right now. But my idea for these cages was to make them a nice piece of furniture on the outside, and then the inside was going to be completely naturalistic for our animals that were going in these. Now, the animals that are originally going in these are going to be our emerald tree boa, our Suriname red tail, our black-headed python. Mr. Skinky here is supposed to go in one. So we just put him in his old enclosure for now. I don't really care for the glass because it doesn't hold the heat very well. But this room so far has been doing okay. We kind of put something on this side to kind of help keep the heat in. He's got two heat sources right there. So for the time being, the animals are happy, healthy, and eating. And this is going to be a complete work in progress throughout the winter time. I am going to start collecting materials to hopefully work on these cages. I still do have some materials. This is this Amazon box full of bulbs. I have some basking bulbs, and then these Flukers heat emitters was what I got off of Amazon before I came. I think I put them out of stock, but at least we have them. And then, of course, our hatchling rack is still up and running. This thing barely made it here. The wheels on the bottom, we had several breakages. We had to pretty much, my husband had to pretty much tape the back because the back completely broke off. So while this works, it's still functional. It is going to need to be replaced here in the near future. So probably next summer, we'll probably be putting in an order for some new hatchling racks. But for now, the heat tape, everything is still functional. Thermostat is still working great. So we're going to continue to use it. In the future, we're probably going to be ordering all Freedom Breeder racks. The Freedom Breeder rack didn't even have a scratch on it. With our transportation, everything is great. The animals are all back in here and doing well. The only thing I'm going to have to monitor over the next few months is going to be humidity. We have been using Reptile for a while now, and in Nevada, our humidity was very, very low. Here in Alaska, our humidity, it ranges from anywhere from 50% on a normal to right now, because we're entering winter season, it is up to 80%. So I may or may not be able to continue to use Reptile. In the past, I've just kind of put it in here and then let it completely dry out and then spritzed it as needed. So I might be able to still do that. So now that we've kind of gone over that, now let me show you the really exciting part. My husband's gonna be coming home between Christmas and New Year's, probably around the time this video will be going up. And we are gonna be working on our new reptile room to get all of these animals out of my room and into their new room. Now, the only animals that will remain in this room are going to be our monitor lizards, and that is going to be our 2 black roughnecks, our male and female pair, and our water monitor Arlo. And I like to have them where we are a lot, and that is to keep them socialized and used to us. I don't like to keep them in a room where they're not going to see people a whole lot. So, like I said, they're going to be getting an epic cage, and I don't want to give any details yet because it's going to be a one-of-a-kind enclosure for our pair of black roughnecks. It's going to be absolutely awesome. But let's go check out what is soon to be our new reptile room. So through this disaster on the back side of our room, there is this nice door. And through this door is this epic room. Now, it's got a little bit of insulation, but obviously this is not an exterior door. So we're gonna have to get, you know what, I'm thinking we're gonna completely block off this door because we're gonna make that our exterior door, that we need to get a new door and kind of make sure that it's all weather stripped and everything. Because right now, it is very cold in here. It is, I think today it's about 5 degrees. So it is very cold in here, but we got some nice double pane windows. It is slightly insulated with the foam. However, the ceiling is not, and that is to our deck upstairs. So we are gonna be adding a ton of insulation to this room. And it is concrete. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna do kind of a false floor that's insulated. But yes, there is this nice, huge room that we are going to be turning into our epic reptile room. Now, it's hard to give you guys an idea of how big this room actually is. I would say this room as at least a 12, maybe even 15 by 15. So this is going to be absolutely great. It's going to be perfect to add several more freedom breeder racks, as well as our incubator and rat racks. So this will be absolutely epic. The ceilings are very, very tall. So we are gonna be kind of switching out this shelving and putting some nicer shelving to keep supplies such as our ReptiChip, paper towels, anything that we are going to need for our breeding operation. So we are super excited about this. And we're gonna be taking you guys along on this journey and showing you every step of this process. Everything is a work in progress, always. From the breeding to the maintaining to now this. I mean, we moved to Alaska and this was absolutely awesome that this house had this kind of on the back room. Now, our house does not have a garage. So what we ended up doing is the container. Once the container is empty, that'll be our storage and our garage space. So we get to utilize this space for our reptile room, which we are super excited to have kind of its own space. So like I said, it is very chilly in here. So we're gonna go back inside and now we're gonna look at that epic clutch. All right, so we're gonna kind of go backwards from kind of what we expected all the way up to the unexpected. So this first baby is going to be a male. This little guy is a male fire. Obviously, since mom is a super fire, every single baby in this clutch is going to be a fire. So this little guy was just kind of our normal fire. Still a beautiful baby. And again, this is a male. And daddy was 100% het clown. So all these babies you're leaving are going to be possible het clown. All right, so let's go to the next one. This guy's leaving anyways. All right, so this next baby is a little girl. This is a female. Now, obviously, she is a fire. Are you gonna bite me? This clutch is extra feisty, which is good for feeding time. But this baby has something going on. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on the ID yet. At first, I thought this baby was Enchi, but I don't think so. I think this is a fire orange dream. Look how light this is. See a little bit on the side pattern there. It's a little bit lighter. A little bit of those orange speckling in there. And you can see it's very light on the dorsal. And now she's gonna ball up. So I'm not 100% because like I said, I haven't fully ID'd this clutch yet. I just haven't had time. And we're not shipping right now, so it hasn't been like a dire emergency to get these guys posted. But I'm pretty sure this is an Orange Dream Fire. So this next one is going to be a male. And look at this. So that last one I'm pretty sure is the OD Fire female. And this is a male. And I'm pretty sure this little feisty dude is an Orange Dream Fire Enchi. Very, very bright. Got all of those lightning jeans and possible het clown. Where are you going? Excuse me. We're trying to view you here. But a very, very nice looking boy. Now, the next one in this clutch is going to be the same as that last one, except a female version. So, I'm pretty confident this is an Orange Dream Fire Enchi. And this is a little feisty girl. She's hissing. Calm yourself. So, very, very beautiful girl. All right, so these next two are identical. They are both males and both feisty little critters. But these two little boys are both Fire Orange Dream Mojaves. And I think they are absolutely, he got some of the substrate. I think they are absolutely beautiful boys that are both like super feisty. I think this one was the smallest one in the clutch. But that dorsal striping kind of reminds you of like a freeway or a highway. Look at that. We only have a few spots where it's broken up here. And the same with this one. There's only a few spots where it's broken up. And the sides are absolutely beautiful if we can kind of show you a little bit. But yes, so these are both males. Possible het clown. What's up, dude? Here, we'll get your substrate back. But yes, both absolutely beautiful colorations. Hello. All right, we'll go ahead and put these two away. All right, so the next three out of this clutch are gonna be holdbacks for sure. Like I said, I'm pretty confident I know what the next two are, but the banger out of this clutch, I am still unsure as I'm waiting for further guidance from Matt Byram. Hopefully he gets back to me. So this next one is a female, and this little girl, I'm pretty sure, is an Enchi Super Orange Dream Fire. She'll let me, she's like not wanting to uncoil. Come on. She's like, no thank you. But look at this baby girl. Holy cow. Absolutely beautiful baby. Look at the blushings on that head. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful girl. And this is why we are pretty sure Mama has Orange Dream and Enchi besides being a Super Fire. And this is why it's kind of cool sometimes to get Super Fires from bigger breeders, because you kind of get some of this hidden stuff. The same thing with ivories or any of these other white snakes. But yep, pretty sure this is a Super Orange Dream Enchi Fire, and this is a female holdback. All right, so this next one is going to be a male, and he's already trying to bite me, so we'll just set him there. So I'm pretty confident that this little guy is a Fire Mojave Super Orange Dream. Now, I don't know if there's anything else going on with this guy. He could possibly have the Enchi in him too, but I don't think so, and I'll show you in the next one why. But this guy is absolutely stunning. Those blushings, I'm glad the camera is picking up those oranges in his sides. He is just an absolute beautiful snake. And this was one of the ones that I had originally cut that I was like, wait a second, something else is going on. Because that doesn't go with any of the genetics that I thought was in this pairing. So he is absolutely beautiful. And a feisty little dude. Look at that. And 50% het clown. So we're going to keep this guy back and see if we can prove him out. Look at that orange. My goodness. All right, so this next one is a female and the banger of the clutch. And one that I have absolutely no idea what this little girl is. But she is absolutely beautiful. So we know for sure that she is a Fire, Super Orange Dream, Mojave, Enchi. If that's all there is, this thing looks amazing. I'm thinking there might be something else going on with this girl, but I'm not 100% sure yet. But absolutely amazing for just a bunch of codoms mixed together. I have not seen anything that looks even remotely similar to this to even compare. So if you know of anybody that's maybe produced something similar, so I can maybe go off of to kind of pinpoint her genetics, or like I said, maybe the genetics I said, maybe that's all that's in her, but still an absolutely amazing girl and 50% het clown. Hopefully in the future we can prove her out to be 100%. This is just absolutely amazing. Look at those oranges. So again, Fire, Mojave, Super Orange Dream, Enchi at minimum. I could stare at this one all day. Absolutely bright. And the camera is picking up most of her color. Some of the yellows aren't coming up as well, but the oranges are, which is amazing. All right, guys, well, that is it for today's video, sharing all of the updates and kind of what we're going to be doing here in the next few months throughout the winter, and a little bit on that clutch. I will keep you guys updated if Matt Byram gets back to me. But yes, that was an absolutely awesome surprise. That was our last clutch of the year. We paired up 8 or 9 females with their males. However, we only got 5 clutches. You know, sometimes females don't go. This just really wasn't, we didn't get a whole lot of clutches, but I was noticing kind of a trend that people were having a decrease in the amount of clutches they had this year. So it wasn't just us. So that made me feel a little bit better. So hopefully this next season, we've added more females. We've added a few more males. So this next season should be absolutely epic, and we can't wait to get it started. Obviously, we just caught everybody here. We got everybody eating. So now we are going to begin pairing everybody up to hopefully have babies in the spring. So again, thank you for watching. We will see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay sane, get out there and make your own footprints. Bye.